Hello everyone! Last time we talked about the start of the Alliance War campaign, in which we did our missions on the mainland and we secured 3 bases within Horde territory, namely Zuldazar, Nazmir and Voldun. That was just the start though. Upon reaching max level and becoming friends with the Proudmoore Admiralty, Storm's Wake and the Order of Embers, it's time to really make some stuff happen. Stuff like the amazing world quest, in which we help other people with their day-to-day problems, we bring turtles to the water, and we also have Matthias Shaw, who has assembled a list of priority Horde targets. First one on that list is the influential Blood Elf called Ariafal Sunwatcher. Intelligence shows that he is the highest ranking member of the Reliquary, and that is pretty much the Horde version of the Explorers League, those that search for artifacts and secrets hidden amongst the world. It's tempting to overlook Sunwatcher and the Reliquary. I mean really, they are archaeologists after all, but that would be a mistake. Those scoundrels are notorious for digging up powerful artifacts and unleashing them against their enemies. What they can't use, they sell, which funds the Horde's war efforts. Light willing will put a stop to that. To help us, we have the one and only Chandris Pheromone joining us into Voldun. She is the adopted daughter of Turan the Whisperwind and Malfurion Stormrage, all the way back in the War of the Ancients, over 10,000 years ago. That was the war in which she lost her parents. Already very brave at a young age, she rose the ranks and became the general of the Sentinel army. Despite that, she was unable to save her home Teldrassil from the flames. And her plan for dealing with the Sunwatcher? We're gonna find him and refill him with arrows. Halford has a bit of a bigger strategy in mind, together with Kelsey, Gusbert Gizmoflank and Explosioneer Zoidfuse. We're going to plant bombs at specific digging sites to flush out this Sunwatcher. That should be no problem with their gyrocopter and jetpack. Along the way, we hit up key targets, we hit some members of the Reliquary, we murder the exiled Zandalar and steal their supplies. Archaeologists and exiles, the war is getting grimmer by the day, and this is just the start. We do have time to do Zoidfuse a huge favor, as he always wanted one of those super fluffy alpacas. Don't worry about the transport. Couple of rockets attached to the bum, it goes a long way. Can't blame the gnome really, they are super fluffy. Yet, as it turns out, Chandris was right. There's no need for this massive elaborate plan, as Sunwatcher, he's right there in the open at the Cracked Coast. We can just kill him, and we do. But since we're here anyways, it would be a shame to let these bombs go to waste. After planting some bombs, we get the honor of jumping into a chopper. We verify that all perimeters are correctly set, and we get to push the big red button.
Is this thing on? Hello? Okay. Radio check. This is Alpha 1, address group Alpha Squadron. Do you read me? Over. Roger, yes. Calibration complete. All of you must orient the instruments in very specific locations. Contact me when they're in place. Over. Authentication code is 19er. Instrument alignment is outside acceptable parameters. Belay that. I can make this work. Sit tight. Over. Execute to follow. See that big red button? Yeah. Get clear of the area and do press the big red button. Execute when ready. Over. Confirmed! Mission success! Perfection incarnate! I love it when a plan comes together. Over and out!
Golden stars all across the board. They should put the Reliquary back quite a few months, and nearly all of our operatives, they've made it safely back to base. All of them, except for Gusbert. Where is good old Guzzy anyways? The Horde has allied itself with the Sen Lane, the Darkfallen, those Blood Elves stuck in Northrend, where Arthas picked them off one by one. Their Blood Queen Lanafel, as well as the Bloodbringers Council, they were slain during the Icecrown Citadel raid, but more of them are out there and apparently working for the Horde. How far they have fallen. And poor Guzzy, he got guzzled up and freaking body slammed into the desert. The king must be informed, but our mission has only just begun. Operation Blood Arrow. That takes us back into Nazmir, where Kashan, together with Sentinel Thalia, Lyrias, Eowyn and Chandris, they join us in trying to track down a high priority target. This time, it's Captain Ariel, one of Sylvanas' Dark Rangers. Taking her would cripple the Horde operations, but to get it done, we'll need information and we'll need allies. The Tortolans in the area, they've been captured by the Blood Trolls, so we save them and we kill a whole bunch of trolls while we're at it. I do have to say though, it's really cool to see how a character like John J. Kashan actually gets a bigger role to play. Interact with someone like Chandris. Now, he is having a pretty hard time being at ease around her, since he knows about her, right? He knows that she's been in more wars than he can imagine. He feels barely worthy of serving next to her, but Chandris assures him that he's a hero in his own right, for his service in the first 3 wars, not to mention his acts of heroism in Redwich. Now don't send your ship sailing quite yet, there is more to come. For now, we're able to make contact with a Tortolan who is willing to trade with us, trade stories for information on the Horde movement. Plenty of stories to go around with these 2 war heroes. Now Ariel, she is in the Necropole, along with a whole host of Horde. She seemed really bothered by some missive she received, said that she should be out there killing the Alliance instead of dealing with some nonsense. That's really good news for us. Any missive that the Horde would send to Ariel, it must be extremely important. So next up, we go to the Necropole. Do gotta make sure to be careful though, as this is Bonsamdi's territory. But while we're at it, we might as well take some time to stop the Horde from setting up camp around the home of a death god. Their supplies are destroyed. We burn offerings for Bonsamdi. Their armory supplies, food, cash and medicinal supplies, all of it is taken care of. Of course, the enemy is also put into the ground. More souls for old Bonsamdi. But our primary target, that is still the Ranger Captain. Chandris mentions that once upon a time they fought side by side. 2, maybe 3,000 years ago, according to Ariel, which probably means that these 2 stood side by side during the Troll Wars. A time in which Ariel was still a high elf, and the humans just barely started to learn how to use magic, but together they were able to repel the Amani trolls and secure their land. In her undead life, she is the enemy to Chandris, and on her dead body, we find a missive detailing a meeting that will happen at Zobal Ruins. With a flask of invisibility, we spy on this meeting between Rokan, Princess Talanji, and the Senlane Blood Prince Draven. He actually knows that Ariel's been slain, call it one of his special traits, which pushes Rokan to move fast with their plans to stop the Alliance. There's a collapsed tunnel that connects Nazmir to Voldun. Draven is ordered to take his followers and use their powers to clear the rubble. Then they can attack the main Alliance forces, but Draven, he's shocked that the Shadow Hunter wants them to use their abilities to move rocks. Why should he follow such orders? Because part of the agreement with Sylvanas was to respect the hierarchy of authority within the Horde, and brother, I outrank you. Draven skulks away and will complete his task, but Talanji wonders if it's actually wise to ally themselves with the Senlane. She does not trust them, yet Sylvanas wants to give them a chance. They have no home left, and if they can work with them, then they have a home within the Horde. If not, they're out. Now, you can almost taste this new allied race, but funny enough, if you only play on the Horde side of things, then at this point in time, you actually have no idea that the Senlane are part of your forces. Perhaps something that they will add later on. Now Devin, he's inside a tunnel, which is almost too perfect. We're going to play as bait, together with Kashan, to lure Draven into an ambush, and together with Chandris and the Sentinels, we'll snuff this threat out once and for all. The Senlane are powerful. Too powerful as it turns out. Close to death's door, the Marquise, they take their victims with them. Thalia, Eowyn and Lyris, they're taken by the vampiric elves, but with his allies gone, it turns out that Draven loses quite a bit of his punch, and Kashan is able to survive his final attack. It shouldn't have been him though. Her friends should have survived, John says, but Chandris reassures him that elf or human, we're all equal. No one of us is more valuable than the other. Let's get out of here, back to Fort Triumph, where Chandris, she can arrange the collection of her fallen sentinels and give them a proper farewell. They have fallen to a monster that must be dealt with, as Draven, he just rose up to the highest priority on our lists. We find Chandris and Wormbane at a disagreement on what our next mission, who our next target should be. Halford wants to deal with the Blood Prince soon, but they have a rare opportunity to cripple the Horde's military by going after Gallywix. He funds the war campaign and understands Azeroth better than any of their other leaders, as he was the one who found Azeroth first and he showed it to the war chief. But Chandris wants vengeance. She has seen what the Blood Prince is capable of. What if there are more like him amongst the Horde? Perhaps we don't have to make a choice at all. Illyria believes that both of them are in the right, and we can't afford to allow either of these targets to escape. Thankfully, we now have the power of the Void at our side. While Chandris does her thing and tracks down the Blood Prince, we join Master Umbric in the pursuit of Gallywix. He's quite happy with the chance to prove the value of the Rendorai, because, as you might imagine, the powers of the Void, they're not to be trifled with, and not everyone believes that they have it under control. He will prove them wrong. He will prove their worth one day at a time, as we return to Zibala, as our intel suggests that is where we're going to find the Trade Prince. Turns out, the goblins are quite hard to knock down, as they have already restarted their mining operations, so we go another round of clearing them out, this time with the aid of the Void Elves, if we choose to summon them onto the field. We also get a Void Shard, which allows us to tap into the powers of the Void, which opens up a rift that will suck the Goblin mechs into a realm that you really don't want to end up in. Umbric and his people take no prisoners, and will utilize any tool needed to win this war. Gallywix himself is not in the camp though, but the orders collected from boss Blastmouth's body, it lets us know that he's currently busy looting a city literally made out of gold. Despite the Horde's efforts of making allies out of the Zandalari, Trade Prince Gallywix was unable to resist the allure of Zuldazar, where we find him robbing the trolls of their treasures. He's a slippery one though, with a portal that takes him instantly back to his pleasure palace. Umbric can't believe his eyes. He knew that Gallywix was selfish and wasteful, but this is too much. His bloated pride has blacked out the sun of good leadership. He hoards the wealth of his people to satiate his gluttony, his greed and lust, while his people, they toil under his calloused heel. And, maybe worse, opportunistic socialites from all across the Horde, they revel in the depravity. All people of Azeroth deserve better than this. We must teach these spoiled cowards a lesson as we crash Gallywix's party and we murder the waiters, the partygoers, the sunbathers. This entire party must be purged. Just wait till we tell Umbric about that time that Gallywix was allowed to stay on as leader of the Bilgewater Goblins, despite trying to kill Thrall and placing his people into slavery. It's money that talks amongst Goblin society. It's all about the moolah, and very few know how to make money like Gallywix does. And money can make a lot of dreams come true, like having a double body pretending to be you. Safely inside the Mecha Mogul MK2, draping Gallywix, he flies off into the sunset, and our mission seems to be a bust. Not the example that Umbric wanted to set, but Wormbane, he's okay with it. We performed admirable, and the Void Elves, they're a credit to the Alliance. We've put Gallywix on the run, and we uncovered his decoy operations. Information that Mafire Shaw will find most interesting. Our next mission, that actually begins with information about what the Horde is doing during the war campaign, as Sylvanas, she has her troops doing something out at sea. This could either be a rare opportunity or a distraction, but Chandris, she thinks that this is actually top priority, as Draven is traveling with a traitorous Tide Sage and he might be on board of their ship. That would be the perfect spot to confront him, cornered and nowhere to escape, if we can strike before they make landfall. That means our big, lovely, slow ship simply won't do, but thankfully we do have Falstad and the Wildhammers ready to give us a lift. Amidst the storm, our small squad finds the Horde at sea. No idea what they're trying to do here. All we know is that Draven is on one of those ships, and I don't want to spoil to you what the Horde actually does here, but it is really cool, so if you want to know, I've dropped a little hint in the description. In this very moment, we board the ship, we take out a whole bunch of the Forsaken, we shoot some cannons to blow up the other ship, and we see this Forsaken Tide Sage that's working with the Horde. Thomas Zelling is using his powers in a protective manner, not wanted to fight, which is quite curious. But after taking care of the crew, our objective is now to open up the battle chest of the Horde, which can be found on deck. This is a trap set by Navanos Blightcaller, champion of the Banshee Queen. He actually recognizes us, he is thrilled to unleash his hero's bane and report back to the Dark Lady. But when you have the Wildhammer on your side, all you gotta do is look to the skies whenever you're in trouble. Falstad saves our hide, and seeing how Draven was not on our vessel, that means that he must be on the one that Chandris boarded, so we pop over to her side and we get ready to take on the Sand Lane. Chandris' fear of his bloody practices spreading amongst the Horde, that seems to be valid, as a whole bunch of his neophytes, they're standing in our way. Their blood-infused crystals empower them, bolsters their unholy abilities, so we make sure to get rid of them. Below deck, Chandris harnesses her rage and grief to shatter the protective barrier, keeping us from our prize. We find Drevin in the middle of draining the Forsaken crew members. Not a lot of meat on the Forsaken bones, but no matter, he'll just tell Sylvanas that we were the ones to kill them before he killed us. That is not going to happen, and while Falstad gives us air support, occasionally stunning the Blood Prince with his hammer, Chandris won't let her vengeance slip out of her fingers. Elune is with her, granting her the strength to strike Drevin down, avenging her fallen sisters. And let's not forget about poor old Guzzy. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that the possibility of the Sand Lane actually becoming an allied race for the Horde, that has been snuffed out. It just means that Drevin is not going to be the one to teach them. No time to celebrate though, as we quickly gotta get off the ship. Our victory is going to echo through the Horde ranks like a warning shot. Grunts will whisper around the campfire that nowhere is safe from the Alliance. Soldiers will doubt, even for a moment, the strength of their commanders. Sylvanas herself will hear the story of what we did today, and it's going to infuriate her. Let's return to Borellis, inform the High Commander of the good news, and wait for our next mission. We've done some really good work so far, taken out many high priority targets, weakened the Horde enough to make a daring strike on Zuldazar itself. Our camp at Zibala is still hidden for now, but that could change at any moment. And what happens when our fleet pursues Telangi and Zul? That can never be allowed to happen again. We need to weaken the Zandalari fleet and harbor defenses to open up the way for a full invasion of Zuldazar. So it's time to gather all of our troops and get things done. First up, we have Falstad, who drops us, Kelsey and Kashan over at the Isle of Fangs, where the Zandalari, they have one of their main ships, the Breath of Paku. It's imperative that we stay hidden, or else we're going to be dino food. But there is enough time for a beautiful friendship to bloom, as Kashan and Kelsey, they're going to make some time to compare their knife collections after the war. Mogu and Zandalari are working together on the Breath of Paku, and while we've been making educated guesses regarding the Zandalari fleet, it's about high time to upgrade their intel, so we kill them and we recover 6 naval records. Besides that, Kashan joins us in planting a whole bunch of bombs on the ships. He's going to take the smaller ones, while we prep the Breath of Paku. It's quite interesting that we still see the Mogu and Zandalari still working together at this point, as the Mogu and the Zandalari and Quartermaster Garza, they're all in league with Prophet Zul. While we ride Kelsey's submarine, John goes over the intel we gathered, and he figures out that there's a ship we didn't account for. One ship might not be a big problem, but its route will take it straight into eyesight of our outpost in Zibala. We are going to be uncovered. They'll inform Halford right away, while we meet up with Chandris and Umbric at Warport Rastari for the next step of our plan. The good Magister has not sit on his hands, he actually picked up a useful ritual from Nazmir, one that's going to make us look like a blood troll. Now, if any Zandalari or Horde members actually sees us during the attack, they'll just think that they're dealing with a blood troll rather than with the Alliance. A handy thing too, as we need to be able to move around and plant bombs on the ship. We need to send Horde emissaries through a void rift into a realm that, once again, you don't want to be in. And we seek out the Horde spy masters that are giving the Zandalari information on the Alliance fleets. With their final breath, these spy masters figure out that it was no mere blood troll, but no one is around to hear their final cries. Our mission is done, but that one unaccounted ship is definitely a problem, as it just discovered our camp. Graal's Call is a major Zandalari flagship. If it's going to make it back to port, then the full fury of the Zandalari Empire will be brought down upon us. Umbric quickly opens up a rift for the dark items to board the ship, while we take to the sky. Chandris, she's going to stay behind to patrol the beach and ensure that no survivors get away. Any troll that has spotted us is put to the sword. Advisor Kojan is cornered and slain on the vessel, but she tells us that we're far too late. The captain is already reporting our location to Princess Telangi, but thankfully Chandris and Falstad, they're really good at the job, as they've captured Captain Zalkran. He wants us to kill him, but Halford has seen enough there for one day. We'll take him prisoner instead. Into the stockades he goes, where hopefully no Horde rescue team will be able to find him. The ship is then rigged to explode. Both Kashan and Kelsey's favorite part. They really need to talk about the shared interest after this. 2 brand new ships for you to enjoy, while one of them goes up in flames. Back at Stormwind, King Anduin is pleased with our results, but sorry for everything that's been put through on behalf of this war.
A king is only as noble as the cause.
Champion, you have spearheaded a long campaign against a relentless foe. What's more, you have faced the Horde with courage and honor. I wish I could say our work was done, but there remains much more ahead of us. I fear the days shall grow darker, before they can grow brighter. The Alliance must ask even more of you, hero. It is clear that we cannot hope to end the War Chief's reign until we sever her ties to the Zandalari. That day will come, soon. But for now at least, know that you serve as an inspiration to those around you. And for that, hero, you have my thanks. For the Alliance.
Chandris knows that our war against the Horde is far from over. Should we ever need her aid, simply call and she will be there as our final follower for the moment. Only by working together will we stop Sylvanas. We have only one option if we want to stop the Zandalari from aiding the Horde. When the time is right, we will send our fleets to Zandalar. Our hard work will ensure that we have a breach in their defenses to begin our invasion into Zandalar. And that is the Alliance war campaign. Now what did we actually accomplish when all is said and done? Well, we have taken out some high priority targets amongst the enemy forces. And we've opened up a breach in the Zandalari defenses so that the majority of our forces, they can make landfall in Zandalar. I personally very much appreciate how more races and somewhat newer characters are now given their time to shine in the spotlight. And I can't wait to see how all of this is going to pay off. That's future talk though. And next week we're gonna start deep diving into the Horde side of things. But for now, thank you very much for watching everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time guys. See ya!